Hundreds of thousands of years ago, our ancestors made a discovery that would change everything: fire. Before fire, there was the stone tool, sharp edges chipped carefully from rock. These tools let early humans hunt, cut meat, and dig into the earth. Learning to spark and control fire took patience, and it changed survival forever. Around these fires, families gathered for warmth, safety, and connection. Sharpened hand axe could mean the difference between hunger and survival. Carrying fire meant carrying safety. Predators feared the flames. Entire camps began to organize their lives around the glow of fire. Cooked food was easier to digest, giving early humans more energy to thrive. Stone and fire together became the foundation for everything humans would go on to build. Once humans settled in one place, they needed real shelter that could last. In Mesopotamia and Egypt, people discovered they could shape wet mud into hard bricks. These mud brick homes clustered together along riverbanks, forming the first true villages. Shaping bricks by hand was slow work, but it created a material that lasted. Bricks were left to bake hard under the desert sun for days. Inside these early homes, a small fire kept families warm through the night. Before bricks, simple frames of bent wood tied with plant fiber formed the first roofs. Rivers provided water, food, and the perfect place to build a life. Mixing straw into the clay made each brick even stronger. This was the true beginning of community life as we still know it today. Around 9,000 years ago in Turkey, humans built one of the world's first real towns. Thousands lived packed together, entering their homes through holes in the roof. There were no streets at all, just rooftops connected like a giant maze. Inside, families painted vivid murals depicting hunts and daily life. Visit a neighbor, you simply climbed across the rooftops. Smoke from indoor hearths drifted up and out through the roof opening. Even trading and daily business happened up on the rooftops. Walls were reinforced with timber and reed before being plastered smooth. From above, the entire town looked like one connected living structure. Night, firelight glowing from rooftop openings lit up the whole town. In England, 5,000 years ago, builders faced stones weighing several tons each. With no machines at all, they had to find a smarter way. Stones were rolled across the land on wooden logs like rollers. Deep pits were dug by hand to anchor each stone upright. Dozens of people pulled together, dragging each slab with thick rope. Every stone raised meant pure teamwork, strength, and coordinated effort. Some smaller bluestones traveled over 150 miles to reach this site. Wooden scaffolding helped lift the heavy lintel stones into place on top. Work likely continued for generations, stone by stone. 5,000 years later, Stonehenge still stands as proof of what teamwork can build. The Great Pyramid of Giza contains over 2 million stone blocks. Workers dragged each block on wooden sledges across the desert. Long ramps spiraling around the pyramid helped raise blocks ever higher. Pouring water on sand ahead of the sledge dramatically reduced friction. Nearby villages housed and fed the thousands of skilled workers. The quarry, masons carved limestone with simple copper chisels. The Nile River carried massive stone blocks by barge to the building site. Overseers coordinated each team, keeping the massive project on schedule. These weren't slaves, but paid laborers resting after a long day's work. Decades of labor created one of the most enduring wonders in human history. The Indus Valley, builders weren't just building tall, they were building smart. Covered drainage channels carried wastewater safely away from every home. Streets were laid out in a precise grid, thousands of years before modern city planning. Every brick across the city was nearly identical in size. Public wells gave residents reliable access to clean water. The Great Bath used waterproof brickwork that still impresses engineers today. Straight brick-paved streets made trade and daily life run smoothly. Carved clay seals helped merchants track and verify their goods. A raised citadel mound oversaw the orderly city below. With civic planning and sanitation, centuries before either concept had a name. In Mesopotamia, builders raised massive step towers called ziggurats. Sun-dried mud brick formed the core, reinforced with layers of reed matting. The Great Ziggurat of Ur rose like a man-made mountain above the flat desert. A fire-baked brick exterior protected the structure from wind and rain. Workers carried baskets of brick up steep ramps, tier after tier. At the very top sat a sacred shrine, reached only by priests. The entire city was built in the shadow of this towering structure. Layers of reed matting between bricks helped prevent the walls from cracking. Torchlit ceremonies climbed the staircases under the night sky. It stood as a powerful symbol of a city's wealth and devotion. The Great Wall of China was built across some of the harshest mountain terrain on Earth. It wasn't built all at once, but expanded by dynasty after dynasty. Builders used whatever material was available: rammed earth, stone, and brick. In some sections, sticky rice was mixed into the mortar for extra strength. Watchtowers along the wall let soldiers spot danger from miles away. Soldiers and farmers alike were called on to haul stone up steep trails. Battlements along the top protected defenders while they kept watch. The wall was engineered to follow the natural defenses of the land itself. Signal fires on distant towers could warn of an approaching threat instantly. Today, it remains one of the largest construction projects in human history. The Greeks brought a new level of precision to ancient construction. Stonemasons carved each marble column by hand with bronze chisels. Oxen hauled heavy marble blocks up the long slope to the Acropolis. Wooden cranes powered by rope pulleys lifted blocks weighing several tons. Hidden wooden pegs locked each column drum perfectly into alignment. From the Acropolis, the rising temple overlooked all of Athens below. Sculptors carved intricate relief scenes directly into the marble friezes. Every surface was polished smooth under the bright Mediterranean sun. Even unfinished, the temple's silhouette already commanded the skyline. Subtle curves in every column tricked the eye into seeing perfect symmetry. The Romans built towering aqueducts that carried water across entire valleys. Their secret weapon was a concrete made from volcanic ash and lime. This concrete actually grew stronger over time, even underwater. Precise surveying tools kept Roman roads perfectly straight for miles. The Colosseum rose using cranes and scaffolding to seat tens of thousands. Concrete poured into wooden molds allowed for massive curved domes. Interlocking stone blocks made Roman roads durable enough to last millennia. Light streamed through the oculus, a single opening at the very top of the dome. Construction crews worked in shifts to keep these massive projects moving. Standardization and discipline let Rome build an empire that still stands today. High in the Andes, the Inca built Machu Picchu without a single drop of mortar. Stones were carved to fit so tightly, not even a knife blade could slide between them. The entire city was carved into a steep, narrow mountain ridge. Granite blocks were shaped and smoothed using simple stone hammers. Ropes and wooden levers eased each massive block into its final position. Terraces carved into the mountainside turned steep slopes into farmland. Distinctive trapezoidal doorways helped the structures survive frequent earthquakes. Llama caravans hauled materials up the steep mountain trails. Even at this altitude, work continued by torchlight under the stars. The flexible stonework let walls shift and resettle, instead of collapsing in quakes. Across every continent, the same simple tools kept showing up again and again. The lever let small teams lift enormous weight with far less force. The ramp let workers move heavy objects upward gradually instead of straight up. The pulley redirected pulling force and multiplied it through clever rope work. 3 simple machines, lever, ramp, and pulley, built almost every ancient wonder. Rhythmic chanting kept dozens of workers pulling together in perfect sync. A simple wooden wedge could split solid rock cleanly in two. Builders separated by oceans independently discovered these exact same solutions. No formulas were written down, just careful observation and trial and error. Necessity truly was the mother of invention for every ancient builder on Earth. From a single flickering campfire to towering pyramids and stone cities in the clouds, ancient humans proved that ambition and teamwork could move literal mountains. Every modern crane traces its roots back to an ancient ramp and lever. Today, millions walk among these ruins, still in awe of what was built. These monuments are a lasting tribute to human labor and legacy. Thousands of years later, these structures still feel timeless and majestic. Each sunrise over these ruins is a reminder of what patient effort can achieve. Endurance across centuries is the true legacy of these ancient builders. From stone hammer to steel hammer, the spirit of building never changed. Every skyscraper and bridge we build today still stands on their shoulders.